Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Feedback Friday, which is the new plan for the end of each week when we are rounding off the Corona Diaries. And if by chance you've dived in and this is your first episode, Feedback Friday is simply me finding a comment, a word of encouragement, a nice idea that somebody's thrown at me, and reading it out and then hopefully elaborating on it a little bit and then hopefully reinforcing that message a little bit and hopefully helping. So today's subject is a guy called Darren Ecton. Now Darren I met as he's an electrician and we're both in the industry. Darren is up near Manchester and he's a real character. And Darren, I have to say before we get started on today's episode, all the support, words of encouragement, advice that you've offered along this new journey is really appreciated. Like, massive respect for putting yourself out there and giving a little back. And Darren, after I finished doing the episode called Enjoy the Ride, which, just to recap, was all about life being a dance to be danced rather than a race to be won, and the fact that there is no finish line, and the fact that if you treat life as though there is some make-believe destination, you're just going to be really disappointed and pissed off when you get there because you're probably not going to be any happier and probably deem yourself to be no more successful. After I did that particular episode, Darren wrote underneath on the YouTube channel in one sentence, and the reason I labour the one sentence bit is quite unbelievably, in one sentence, Darren actually managed to cover what effectively was 4 episodes of the Corona Diaries. So in one sentence, Darren effectively managed to talk about what it takes me nearly 40 minutes to rattle on about, which I think there's a learning curve there for me, to be honest. Maybe I should shut up a little bit. And let me read this out first and then we go back and deal with it in bits, because I think there's 4 really important mini messages within this sentence. Darren wrote this after I did the Enjoy the Ride episode. He wrote, "You never get there. It's impossible. Success for me is earning whilst I'm not working. Time is finite. Lockdown has woke me to this." Deep shit. Fair play. I love all that gear. I love that stuff. So let's just quickly go over that. You never get there, it's impossible. Started this episode by reiterating it, and I don't think you can mention it enough. If you are going about your business on the assumption that when you reach a certain place in time, everything's going to be sorted, everything's going to be cushy, everything's going to be okay, you're going to finally be happy and free and content, knock it on the head. You're wasting your time. Start thinking about the day, the moment, and being mindful in what you're doing at that any given time, and you'll become a much more rounded, happy individual. Darren knows this. Success for me is earning whilst I'm not working. Now that, for me, is Darren's what I call why. And I'm just going to finish today's episode by talking about whys and finding your whys. But the great thing about that is Darren's got a why that he can work towards, and he can make manoeuvres and put the effort in to try and create his why, which is earning whilst he's not working. I think a lot of people are just going about their business without any why, thinking that this miracle is going to land on their laps. Again, total bullshit. Time is finite. It is. I plan to, and I'm very looking forward to, doing an episode called We're All Gonna Die. And again, anyone who knows me personally will know that this is one of my big things. I'm gonna go into it in a lot more detail, but the message is a really simple but effective one again. We are not here for very long. Do not waste your time. Do not waste another second not trying to make the most of the life you've got, because you don't even know how long you've got. Lockdown has woke me to this. We're kind of coming out of lockdown a little bit now. And I think it's time now to reflect on the time we've had in lockdown. And I said in, an episode a while ago, that if you haven't at least sorted out one thing that annoys you, that you wish was different in your life during this time of reflection, you fucking failed massively. And now it's time to look back and analyse and decide whether you did or didn't learn anything in lockdown. And if you did, take it into the future. Don't just learn it in lockdown and go back to your old ways. Take it into the future. And I think Darren's the kind of guy that is going to. I've spoke to him a couple of times during lockdown on the phone about other random things. And I can really tell that this has had a massive impact on his mindset and the way he is approaching his business. And then hearing him say that inspires me and makes me realise that it's changed me for the better. And we've got to talk and we've got to share and we've got to educate each other. So that is a really nice, really well put together bit of feedback, may I say. You never get there, it's impossible. Success for me is earning whilst I am not working. Time is finite. Lockdown has woke me to this. Boyakasha. Let me just quickly elaborate on something that I said I was going to end on. Finding your whys. It is so important to find your whys. And tomorrow, no, it's Friday, definitely not tomorrow. On Monday next week, I'm going to start the week elaborating on these whys and little things I do to help me with my whys and help me hopefully attain and reach my whys. So have a great weekend. Thank you as always for watching these little vids every morning. And I will catch up with you on Monday. Look after yourselves.